In a quiet town nestled near the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, lived Sarah Mitchell, a resilient woman with a heart full of love and worry. Her husband, Captain James Mitchell, a dedicated U.S. Army officer, had been deployed overseas on a classified military mission. James was more than a husband, he was her best friend, the father to their 2 children, Emily and Noah. For months, Sarah kept the house running, working part-time at the local library and trying her best to keep her children from sensing how much she missed James. But one rainy afternoon, her world shattered. A group of uniformed officers arrived at her door with solemn faces. They informed her that James had been in a fatal car accident on a remote stretch of road overseas. The vehicle, after veering off the cliffside, burst into flames. Only fragments of the car were recovered. According to their report, no body was found, but authorities assumed the worst: the fire had consumed everything. Sarah fell to her knees. Life became a blur. She attended a memorial service without a coffin, holding tightly to James' photo, her grief turning into quiet resilience. But as weeks turned into months, things became harder. Bills piled up. Emily started acting out in school. Noah stopped talking as much. And every night, Sarah cried in silence, clutching James' last letter. Meanwhile, thousands of miles away, deep in the dense woods of the Balkans, a young adventurer named Daniel Rivera, hiking off trail, stumbled upon an unconscious man near a rocky slope. He was bruised, barely breathing, and dressed in tattered military clothing. Daniel called for help and the man was airlifted to a rural hospital in Croatia. The doctors stabilized him, but he woke up with complete memory loss. He couldn't recall his name, his country, or even why he was there. The only clue was a partially burnt dog tag that read, J.M.I.T. Over the months, the man, dubbed John by the hospital staff, started gaining physical strength but remained lost mentally. He had recurring dreams of a woman with hazel eyes and a boy calling, Daddy. Slowly, Daniel, moved by the mystery, began searching online using fragments from the dog tag, piecing together what might have happened. Sarah continued facing life's hardships. One day, she almost lost their home due to missed payments. Community members pitched in, but the emotional toll was heavy. Then, something strange happened. A message appeared in her inbox, from a man named Daniel Rivera. He claimed he might have found someone who looked like her deceased husband. At first, she thought it was a cruel scam. But when he sent a blurry video of the man speaking, Sarah froze. The way he moved, his voice, the scar under his chin. It was James. With the help of the U.S. Embassy, James was flown back to the States. He arrived in a wheelchair, confused but hopeful. The moment he stepped into their home, memories started flooding back: Noah's laugh, Emily's lullaby, Sarah's perfume. It took weeks of therapy, tears, and gentle reminders, but James began to remember. One night, as the family sat on the porch watching fireflies, James turned to Sarah and whispered, "You waited for me." She smiled through tears. "I never stopped believing." The Mitchells, once broken by distance and tragedy, were now stronger than ever. Together, they rebuilt their lives, not as victims of fate, but as survivors of love, hope, and miracles.